Imagine this. You're home alone, it's late at night, and your phone rings with a doorbell camera alert. You check the footage expecting to see a delivery or maybe a neighbor passing by, but instead you see something else. A masked figure staring directly into the camera, a voice whispering just outside your door, a shadow that moves when no one is there. What would you do? Would you open the door or sit frozen in fear? These 6 doorbell camera moments are some of the most chilling you'll ever see, and trust me, you won't believe what happens in number 4. By the time we get to number 5, I dare you not to turn away. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's begin. Number 1. The Clown with a Knife. It was a morning like any other. A homeowner in Texas got up, made his coffee, and stepped outside only to find his backyard gate wide open. His heart started to race. Had he forgotten to lock it? Or had someone been here? Curious and uneasy, he checked the security footage from the night before, and what he saw? Pure nightmare fuel. A man in a clown costume, complete with a grotesque mask and an old-fashioned suit, had been prowling around his home. But this wasn't just some prank. The figure wasn't laughing, wasn't goofing around. He was clutching a knife. The clown methodically walked around the property, testing doors and peering through windows, his eerie face illuminated by dim porch light. Each time he tugged at a doorknob and found it locked, he stood there, waiting. This happened during the infamous killer clown craze of 2016, a bizarre phenomenon where people dressed up as terrifying clowns to scare unsuspecting victims. But this wasn't just a joke. This man had a weapon, and he wasn't just looking to scare someone, he was looking for a way inside. Thankfully, the homeowner's doors were locked, and after a few tense minutes, the clown eventually gave up and walked off into the night, disappearing into the shadows. The homeowner immediately called the police, but by the time authorities arrived, the masked intruder was long gone. No arrests were ever made. But one thing's for sure, whoever that was, they weren't just looking for a laugh. And if you think that was unsettling, wait until you see what happened when a stranger showed up in the dead of night, muttering to himself and desperately trying to get inside. Number 2. The man talking to himself at the door. It was a quiet September night in 2018 when YouTuber Jeff Null uploaded a video that would send shivers down the spines of anyone who watched it. He titled it "Man Trying to Enter My Home in the Middle of the Night." At first, the footage seems like a typical break-in attempt, someone approaching a home, possibly checking for an unlocked door. But as the video continues, it becomes much more disturbing. A man, disheveled, eyes darting around like he's lost in a fog, walks up to the front door and lingers. He doesn't knock, he doesn't ring the bell. Instead, he just stands there, staring, whispering to himself. Then, suddenly, he reaches for the doorknob. His voice, barely above a whisper, drifts through the camera's microphone. At first, his words are hard to make out, like he's lost in some strange, delirious conversation with himself. But then, without warning, his demeanor shifts. His grip on the doorknob tightens. He pulls harder this time, testing the lock, growing bolder. From inside, the homeowner, startled awake by the commotion, acts fast. "Hey, get the hell out of here, I'm calling the cops." The figure outside freezes. Then, in the creepiest, most unnerving tone imaginable, he mutters something bizarre.
Okay, I was just looking for my dog, Fido.
There's a long, uncomfortable pause. Then, as if suddenly remembering how to act normal, the man laughs nervously and said they could be friends.
Whoa, you don't have to get all like that and stuff, honey. Matter of fact, we could be friends.
The way he says it, soft, almost casual, sends chills down the spine, like he actually believes he's having a normal conversation. And just like that, the man turns and walks off, vanishing into the darkness as if nothing ever happened.
I'm suing for that.
Jeff never saw him again. The police were called, but no one was ever caught. What was he doing there? Was he on drugs? Mentally unstable? Or was he planning something far worse? No one knows. But one thing is certain. When a stranger starts talking to themselves outside your door in the middle of the night, you lock your doors and pray they keep walking. And if that wasn't unsettling enough, the next story takes us inside a hospital, where a surgeon caught something on camera that shouldn't have been there. Number 3. The surgeon's nightmare. Hospitals are supposed to be places of healing, of science, of logic. But sometimes even the most rational minds encounter something they can't explain. On December 19th, 2023, a hospital surgeon named Tiffany was filming a lesson for her surgical students. It was just another routine video, something she had done countless times before. But this time, she wouldn't even finish filming, because something was watching her. Tiffany's social media account is strictly educational, filled with nothing but surgical techniques and lessons for students. But this video was different. It was uploaded with one desperate request. Can anyone explain what I just saw? At first, everything seems normal. Tiffany is demonstrating a suturing technique, focused on her work. But then, in the corner of the frame, something moves.
Chromic catgut. The difference is, I'm so sorry, my brain. Okay, here we go, back. Okay. So here we have two different kinds of sutures, polypropylene, monofilament, and chromic catgut. The difference between these two is that this one is dissolvable and it's animal derived. And the sutures last anywhere from 60 to 90 days.
A dark, shadowy figure stands at the window. It lingers there, watching. And just as quickly as it appeared, it vanishes, darting to the other side of the hospital in a blur. Tiffany's breath catches in her throat. She knows she saw something, but what? For a moment, she wonders if it was just a trick of the light. But deep down, she already knows the answer. This isn't the first time something like this has happened here. The hospital has long been rumored to be haunted. Staff and patients alike have whispered about eerie sights and unexplained noises. And one location, in particular, sends chills down everyone's spine: the women's restroom.
Literally tearing up right now. I saw it. I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Determined to find answers, Tiffany rushes over. The corridor is empty. The restroom is silent. But just as she's about to turn back, a door swings open on its own.
Can you please just show yourself? Just give me a sign. Do whatever you want.
I'm jaking it. I'm jaking it. Oh, so good.
Her heart pounds. She raises her camera, scanning the empty hallway. Then a shadow rushes past the automatic doors. Fast, too fast for a human.
That's great.
Tiffany stumbles back, struggling to process what she just saw. The figure wasn't walking, it wasn't running, it was gliding. And in a hospital where so many lives have ended, she can't help but wonder, did she just come face to face with one of them? To this day, there are only 1 or 2 videos on her account that acknowledge what happened that night. She never spoke about it again. Some mysteries are best left unsolved, but the next encounter, there was no mystery, only terror. Because when a man was alone in his house one night, something happened that nearly took his life. Number 4, the flying knife. Being home alone can be unsettling. Every creak of the house, every shadow in the corner of your eye, it all feels just a little more sinister. But for one man, what happened that night turned his quiet evening into a real-life horror movie. His name is Connor M., and he lives in a neighborhood where break-ins happen far too often. But even in a place where crime is common, nothing could have prepared him for this. That night, Connor was home alone. His daughter was staying at his ex-wife's house, and his dog was outside. The house was eerily quiet until he heard it, a noise, shuffling sounds from the kitchen. His heart pounded as he grabbed his phone and started recording. He slowly stepped toward the kitchen. his voice tense as he called out.
If anybody's here, I'm calling the cops. God damn it.
It was all silence, and then a knife. Flying through the air, the blade shot off the counter as if it had been thrown, missing him by mere inches and landing at his feet with a sickening clang. Had he been standing any closer, the outcome could have been deadly.
No!
Connor's breath hitched. His hands trembled as he panned the camera around the room. There was no one there. No sign of forced entry. No open windows. Nothing. It wasn't possible, was it? From fearing a burglar to questioning his own sanity, Connor was left shaken to his core. He rewound the footage over and over, looking for an explanation, but there wasn't one. As he would later say, when it comes to things that can't be seen, there's no telling when the knife in your kitchen might fling itself at you with no apparent cause. The house that was supposed to be in his safe space now felt like a ticking time bomb. Connor never found an answer. The knife never moved again, but he never forgot that night, because once you've seen something impossible happen right before your eyes, how do you ever feel safe again? And if you think that's terrifying, wait until you see what a doorbell camera captured during the infamous killer clown craze. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't the paranormal, it's the people who walk among us. Number 5. The Staring Clown. Most pranks are harmless. A quick scare, a laugh, and it's over. But in 2016, something far more sinister swept across the world. An eerie phenomenon known as the killer clown craze. People dressed in clown costumes began lurking in the shadows, stalking the streets and creeping around neighborhoods in the dead of night. Some were pranksters looking for a scare. Others, their intentions were unknown. One homeowner learned this the hard way when their doorbell camera captured a terrifying visitor standing just outside their home. The footage begins in silence. The front porch is empty until from the darkness, a figure emerges, a clown. Its face is eerily still, hidden behind a mask, the wide, exaggerated grin frozen in place. But this isn't some circus act. The figure moves slowly, deliberately, making its way toward the front door. And then it stares, right into the camera. The footage is unsettling, not just because of what the clown is wearing, but because of what it isn't doing. It's not knocking. It's not ringing the doorbell. It's just standing there, eyes locked onto the camera, watching. For seconds, the figure remains motionless. Then it tilts its head as if considering something. A moment passes, then another, and then the clown raises a hand, but it doesn't wave. It doesn't knock. A silent warning, a message only it understands. And just like that, it turns and walks away, disappearing into the night as if it were never there. To this day, no one knows who the person behind the mask was. Maybe it was just a sick joke. Maybe it was something more sinister. But one thing is certain. If your doorbell camera ever captures a clown staring silently at your home in the middle of the night, you don't open the door. But the next encounter is even more disturbing, because while a clown might be terrifying, at least you know what's behind the mask. But in a hospital's abandoned ER, nurses caught something on camera that no one has been able to explain. Number 6. The haunted ER. Hospitals are filled with stories. Stories of life, of loss, of moments where the veil between worlds feel thin. But some stories, they don't have a rational explanation. On May 20th, 2023, a group of nurses working the night shift decided to explore a part of the hospital that no one liked to talk about, the old ER.
You guys. Haunted ER? We're gonna go.
This floor had been abandoned for years. Patients had died here. Some of them were children, and the nurses who still worked in the hospital swore that this place was haunted. Most stayed far away. But on this particular night, a few of them decided to see for themselves. They grabbed a phone, hit record, and stepped inside.
I'm really good too. Oh my god, my head is huge. Chloe, so I can't even... Huh?
It's just close to the camera.
Yeah, you're right. We got a chance for the haunted. Yeah.
Oh god.
Feels like...
I'm not excited about this. I didn't even get to finish eating my sandwich.
It feels like we're getting on a... You nervous? Why are you nervous?
Because it's haunted.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
You see anything? Oh shit! That was evil. You knew what you did there.
I knew exactly what I was doing. What? What?
Chloe just moved herself.
Oh. Oh, it's a doll. Oh. Yeah, it's just a little doll. It was training.
Oh, it's a train doll.
Put it here.
It's still weird though.
Yeah, look at her.
That's so weird. Oh, that's freaky. Let's go. Upstairs. It's way upstairs. Yeah, that's upstairs. Sorry, I thought you were. I felt you were like right behind. It's just freaky. You guys wave in the camera or in the reflection.
They like see me? God, I feel like I'm gonna see.
Oh, that's the same room.
Oh. God,
The dim hallway stretched out before them, cold and silent. The air felt thick, the kind of heavy stillness that makes your skin crawl. One of the nurses moved further into the room, her footsteps echoing against the tiled floor. Then a curtain moved.
Oh! The curtain moved.
No, it did.
Yeah, it did. It moved.
Not a small shift, not a trick of the light. The heavy hospital curtain swayed as if someone had just walked past it. The nurse froze. A chill ran down his spine, and before she could even think, he bolted out of the room. His co-worker saw it too, but before they could even process what had happened, something else made their blood run cold. Fell over on its own. It didn't tip, it didn't slide, it fell.
It moved. Yes, it did.
Why would
It did.
move?
How did you not see that? Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Panic set in. The nurses stared at each other, their faces pale, their breathing unsteady. The unease in their voices was undeniable. This wasn't the wind. It wasn't the building setting. Some nurses believe it was the ghost of a child, one of the young patients who had once stayed in that ER. Others think it was something else. Whatever it was, they didn't stay long enough to find out. Because sometimes when a place holds too much history, you don't go looking for ghosts, they find you. And that brings us to the end of our terrifying journey. But before you go, ask yourself this: how many times have you checked your doorbell camera? Because next time you do, you might not be alone.